by a team of investigators, prosecutors, and finally the Attorney General. Regarding Democracy Hub, and the rest of them, I thought that your interest was in knowing why the public office holders were left off the hook. I have discontinued the charges. I've dropped the charges against the public office holders. As far as Democracy Hub is concerned, I took the view and I expressed it. I don't know whether Alfred remembers, but I expressed it on your network that the prosecution was totally unwarranted and that it had the potential of violating the rights of the citizens to express themselves in the form of demonstrations. I had taken that legal professional view. So I didn't see any reason why I should now come, very much like the cases in which I have said that because of my strong professional and ethical views about them, I did not see the reason why just because I have changed position now, I'm the Attorney General, I should continue to prosecute anybody who was involved in those cases. In the case of Democracy Hub, I was not involved professionally, but I took the view that it was a violation of their right to freedom of expression. So those of you look at, Article 33 of the Constitution is, on the enforcement of fundamental, human rights. The exceptions are very, very clear. And you must demonstrate one of those exceptions in order to say that a person cannot, that is 33 clause 5 of the Constitution. You must demonstrate with evidence that a person is not entitled to the exercise of his fundamental right. And I don't think that happened in the Democracy Hub, cases. So I discontinued them. And rightly so. Yes. Which one? Oh, Judge Kwesi. Okay. So in the case of Judge Kwesi, as I noted, I did not take these decisions without consulting the defense lawyers in all the cases. I consulted the defense lawyers. All right. The reason for the consultation was so that I am not seen as acting in an arbitrary manner. Okay. So I decided to consult all the defense lawyers. And of course, the lawyer for Judge Kwesi is the venerable, senior, and respected Tachu Chikata. So I had not once, but 2 long sessions of discussions with him. And he told me he wants to soldier on and prove the innocence of his client. And I respected that view. So that is how come that Judge Kwesi is not part of those that I have, discontinued. Thank you for drawing my attention to that. I have not yet reviewed it, but thank you for drawing my attention to that. Good. Well, I thought that was the last question by Mutala. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
2 more, and please bear with us. 2 more, okay? Alfred and then you.
Yes. Good evening. I'm Kenneth. I work with Joy News.
Okay.
I work with Joy News. My questions. The first one is there's been name calling that the ordinary Ghanaian is saying that President John Dramani Mahama has become a clearing agent. Mm-hmm. My question is, are these cases, is the president aware that you've dropped these cases? What is the president's opinion on these cases? And then the last one is, just today, the special prosecutor declared the former finance minister, Tedo Feriata, wanted. I want to pick your thoughts on that. And then when are you also going to start with your own prosecution of cases? We know that the oral committee has finally submitted their report to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And in the spirit of the discontinuation of the case, I want to find out if you're going to review the case of Gregory Afoko. That is one that has come up for mention after these decisions that you took recently. And then also the killings in the 2020 elections. When are you going to also pay attention to that? Because the president has directed the IGP to investigate and put together a report. Yeah. Any update on that, please?
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Ken, from Joy News, your first question is the accusation of a clearing agent labeled at His Excellency. Now, if you all recall, the former president, the title clearing agent was used to refer to the former president, that is His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. When the term was used, it was rightly used because Nana Addo Dankwa, His Excellency, was directly involved in most of the time, issuing statements, writing letters. I saw the love letter to Cecilia Dapa stating that he is very, confident that he will be innocent. He will be declared innocent. All right. So that is how Ghanaians labeled him the clearing agent. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama cannot be labeled a clearing agent because, as I've said in my statement, all right, he has not been involved in any decision. I have not briefed him on any of these decisions. All right. I will, at the appropriate time, maybe do a cabinet memo. All right, so that His Excellency and my cabinet colleagues will be formally informed of the decisions that I have taken. All right. Until then, His Excellency remains innocent and stands far away from the decision that I've taken. And I have told you that I am, taking absolute responsibility for all the decisions. Okay? As the Attorney General, it is my responsibility. If there's any fault in the decisions I've taken, I will take I am taking responsibility, today, and I'll take responsibility in the future. Regarding the OSP, recall that the OSP law seeks to make the OSP independent of the Attorney General. Now, even though I disagree entirely with it, not because I am now Attorney General and I want powers over the OSP, but if you go back to the Parliamentary Hansard, when the law was being enacted, I was one of those who argued strongly that that power rightly belongs to the Attorney General under the Constitution. When I was making those arguments, the Honorable Gloria Ekufu was the Attorney General, right? I wasn't the Attorney General, and I had not dreamt of becoming Attorney General. So I wasn't trying to arrogate to myself any powers then, okay? However, because the legislative intent is to make the OSP independent of the Attorney General, I am a bit reluctant to interfere in the work of the OSP. However, I think that it is only right that because he's exercising prosecutorial authority, which belongs to me under Article 88(3) of the Constitution, all right, I should be in the know regarding, his actions. So he's one of the agents, OSP is one of the agencies under the Attorney General's Department, and at the appropriate time, I will call for a briefing on everything that he has done, including the press conference that he held, today. I myself, woke up to the press conference. I did not know that he had taken those actions. I'm not blaming him for taking the actions. Until I know the substantive content of the actions he's taken, I cannot, begin to say anything about them. There was a third one, Ken, if you remind me. Yeah, when am I going to start prosecutions? As I said earlier, mounting a prosecution is a very, very, very painstaking adventure. Okay, so we are going to look at the oral report. In fact, we have started reviewing them. My able Deputy Attorney General designate, the Honorable Justice Sumsai, has been tasked with reviewing the reports. We'll be having our first meeting, technical meeting, on Friday. And if there are any low-hanging fruits, I am sure you'll see prosecutions taking place, before the end of the month or even into the early parts of next month. All right, but as I said, my position is that I will not charge anybody and go back and look for evidence, okay, against them. I will never do that. Look, maybe I should tell you this. In July of 2017, I was in my house when my son came and knocked on my door and told me that he had seen on the CCTV gun-wielding policemen at the gate. This was around 6:30. So I woke up, freshened up, looked into my own, the CCTV, and I saw them. I recognized one of them because as Deputy Attorney General, I used to work with them. So I recognized them. Because I recognized him, said, no problem, they are not armed robbers, so let them in. They came in and then said they were investigating me for corruption in the Ameri, in respect of the Ameri plant. Okay? So I asked them, okay, what did they want? If they were going to put me under arrest, I was ready to be arrested. If they wanted to search my house, I just wanted a search warrant. Now they refused to give me the search warrant, and I refused to allow them to search the house. Eventually, when they showed me the search warrant, it detailed only 3 items. Okay? Documents, computers, and phones. So I told them, okay, so you have an arrest warrant that limits you to taking these items. So please go ahead and take them. They went ahead and took them. As for the documents, I told them they can go back to the AG's department because I didn't steal any documents on that transaction and take them home. So they left after a while. They looked through the entire house and they left. They actually placed me formally under arrest, but then one of them, the inspector, said there was no need to take me in handcuffs to the police station. Now, after everything, they combed my laptops and phones and everything. They did their investigation. They found nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay? And then they returned the laptop to me. Why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story because it was one of the most harrowing experiences that I've had in my public life. Very harrowing. The fact that you wake up in the morning and there are policemen, in your house, searching the house, and then potentially they could take me into, I've never slept in a police house, a police station. I've never done that. I have defended criminals and gone to see what they go through. I don't want to put anybody's father or mother through that unless there is a reasonable basis to do so. So we are going to be very, 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 very careful, and we are going to be very diligent in investigating so that when we come to arrest you, we know that we are doing so because, there's a reasonable basis for it. So to your question, when we'll start prosecutions, I can tell you we are working on the oral, reports, and if there's a basis, if our investigation shows that there is a basis, we will go ahead and then prosecute. Now, Alfred, I'm hoping that these 2 questions are your last questions.
back home. That is not going to change, the numbers in terms of the remittances that at the moment there's something happening that we need to wake up to. As Honorable Ladi said, this is actually a wake-up call for us, because a lot of the money that comes into this country, there's 150 million that comes into the budget, and the other ones that goes to various departments and agencies that the Ministry of Finance most of the time don't even know about it. That turns out to be what they call internally generated fund. A lot of these monies are actually being misused. They are not used effectively. And some of the people crying as a result of these free monies, they call it, that comes in and get misused. What we should wake up to now is that because of the tariffs that especially Asian countries, China, are going to be paying, they are beginning to move their productions from Asia, from China, into other countries, especially Africa. A lot of African countries, Rwanda, are benefiting from this. We are here. The headquarters of the African Continental Free Trade sits here, and we are doing very little. So a lot of these companies are moving they are basically moving their machines from China and other places to relocate themselves to places where they will pay much lower tariffs. In Africa, we have various agreements with the United States to be able to send things there on low tariffs. A lot of cotton garment businesses are moving. If you go to East Africa at the moment, a lot of garment companies are moving from China to relocate to Rwanda and other places because of the low tariffs on things like AGOA and things that people are able to send. These are the things we need to look at. And I know you don't like to hear 24-hour economy, but 24-hour economy, 24-hour economy is going to be a vehicle. If Ghana, if this government target some of these companies that are relocating to Africa and encourage them with tax incentives and other incentives. Some of them, the raw materials are here. That's why they are relocating. So if we can provide the raw materials, we can give them cheap labor, we can provide sufficient energy and efficient energy, and we can do all the things that will enable these companies to set up here, we can industrialize, or we will become the serious manufacturing economy that we should be. To be able to take advantage. So we should not just be crying of what is going to happen to us because we won't get $150 million to waste, or we won't get monies going into various departments and agencies, but we should look at the opportunities that this creates. As I said, Trump gave us a signal that Donald Trump is not a president that looks at things globally. Is an inward-looking president. You keep hearing America first, America first, and now Ghana is crying that Ghana is last. The man has told us already. So, Mr. Speaker, this is an opportunity for us as a wake-up call to look at things differently and inwardly. And as the president said, that he has charged the finance minister to find this gap, the 150 million or so that we need to find is not a big deal. The finance minister knows that the donor money that comes into our budget is infinitesimal, is very small, and should not shake anyone up. But it's a wake-up call for us to find ways of building our own economy. 8 years ago, we were told that Ghana beyond aid, and today, Ghana still hasn't gone beyond aid. Those are the things we need to wake up to and try and address them. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, it's now 26 minutes after 6. Having regard to Standing Order 56-2, I proceed to adjourn the House till Thursday, 13 February 2025 at 12 noon.
Some of our Costa Television, the Digitania 514. Your come, Bishopum. Oh, yeah, Bishopum, money, and some crew and Nabimbia, and Koma Woods, when I standing on the Seno. Say, Sherry, what the Jumedini Nano Abbey in there. Yami Adamo, China, or what you do. Now, more you feel, yes, son, you crow, or yeah, State Attorney General. Yeah. The Orman Central for Saints, no Montreal. The man, someone said, when here and when here will be the oh. Intana, we will connect to the Central for Mrs. Lemon Summer. Yakwa Koshe, or yeah, the Manson Joffrey Shibun. Until Damana, a very editors for our yet the work at any person, Pensema, Yano, Damana, Endazano, Hassel, Nayetibisi, Sunday Yapon, Messibo, Messibo, Wapleti, Akasama Bayer, Edunu, and then finally the sun. Nuncia appeal, Akasama Bayer the Sala, na. Nunsona boneta ye dumedino abewi mezi kana bobo the boka tena pod na pod ina no maza amo unti every ye fancy na ye mapa na ye kosheda o hobi adomdoma e bese ni shenedi o ye editors forum no e da chewo from kitikeku asorba office ma makromina aba
Mankadam Babo, Chef's girl, sending a Namako, a common order, fit on the payment, Didi, Pedam fail, a tank, a